Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Unrooted Men's Volleyball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than the assistant coach on the men's volleyball team here at Menlo College, Zach Hawkins. Zach, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, you joined both volleyball staffs as an assistant coach this season. Is there a difficulty between trying to transition from coaching women to coaching guys?
Yeah, definitely. It has a lot to do with the delivery. You have to work on your delivery, and also what I've learned with coaching women versus men is with women you have to feel good to play good, and with men you have to play good to feel good. So It's just about energy level, getting somebody hyped up, or any type of emotion out of them to make them ready and just ready to ball, essentially. Yeah.
And how would you say the first year has gone for you personally?
First, it's been a very interesting year because I actually just graduated college a year ago. So coming right into the college game and learning, I've learned a lot, translated what I've learned over my volleyball career over into the men's and women's game coaching. So I feel like I'm just now starting and know where to go but up from here.
I like that you talk about how recently you graduated from Lourdes University. You played your final 2 years there. Did you try to take anything that you learned from that experience at Lourdes over here with you to Menlo College?
Yes, definitely, because at Lourdes University we were expected to go to nationals and expected to finish top 5 and win a national championship. So that type of program was very, I don't want to say elite, but just at a higher level compared to the rest of the NAIA. So we just competed, and bring that over to the men's game, especially a first-year program with 16, 18-year-old freshmen, just letting them know how that culture is and how you have to be disciplined and consistent and not falter, because you will have a tough time with 16 freshmen on the court playing against adult men.
Yeah. So then what kind of experience was it like for you? You go with the team to Chicago for the first major trip of the year, and you're facing Lourdes University right away. What was that like?
That was actually a lot of fun because all my teammates were obviously still on the team, and I had my scouting report on them because I know them personally. And the first set, we executed everything perfectly, and we won the set. And it kind of opened our guys' eyes, holy crap, this is the number 4 or 5 team in the country, and we just took a set off of them. And I kind of had a little notch on my, brush my shoulder off toward my old coaches, looking at them man, we actually got to prepare for this team. So it was actually a lot of fun. And then after the match, we hung out a little bit and talked, and just bringing back old memories from a whole year ago.
Now let's talk a little bit about Zach Hawkins, the person, for a moment. There's something a little bit off with your sports teams. First of all, you're a Houston Astros fan. I get it. You're from the Houston area. They won the World Series this year. Your first year at Menlo. Woohoo. But then you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Your first year here at Menlo. Oh, no. And they win the Super Bowl. Are you just a bandwagon fan, or what's going on here?
That's not how it works. I am a loyal fan. I've been with the Houston Astros since the beginning. Since 2005, losing to St. Louis constantly, then making it to the World Series, and then losing to the White Sox, and then through the bad years all the way up to now, Houston till I die. Eagles, I was born into it. People might say the Texans, why aren't I a Texans fan?
That's what I would have thought.
Texans didn't start the organization until 2002, 2003.
True.
Speaking of around that time, my nephew, who was born in 2002, his name is Donovan, so if you want to put that together.
Okay.
Donovan McNabb, for the people that don't know. So I was just born into being an Eagles fan, and I've been with the Eagles since the struggle years as well as the Astros, and they finally win. So I didn't bring my Rockets gear, but this year is the year of the Rockets as well.
I mean, it really does seem like it. I mean, you can never count out the Warriors, who have won 2 of the last 3, and you hope, if you're a Warriors fan, they'll be healthy going into the playoffs. But seriously, this is just weird that you come here to Menlo and all of a sudden all of your teams are winning. Are you a hockey guy, a soccer guy? What's any other teams?
Hockey doesn't exist in Texas. Soccer, I will say.
Yes, it does.
Well, not in my area.
You got the Stars.
See, I wouldn't.
Dallas Stars.
Oh, see, Dallas, we don't. That's up there.
But okay, see, you said that the Texans weren't around till 2002. Okay, I get that. You got another team right up the road.
No.
No?
Never.
You like this team right here?
Never will be a
Cowboys?
fan.
Oh,
Never will be a
Cowgirls.
Cowgirls
Okay.
fan.
So we can't have a civil discussion about this, is what you're saying.
We've never had a civil discussion. It has never happened. It probably never will.
You're right. We never have had a civil discussion about it.
Once I see you in this hat walking around the office, I will.
Oh, that will never happen. I'd have to lose a bet, and there's no way I'm losing that bet. I don't even know what the bet would be, but I would not lose that bet to wear that hat.
Win if the Rockets win.
But I'm not a basketball fan, so I don't care.
At all?
No.
I don't know what to say about
Like,
that.
do you have to call me a Warriors fan because I live in the area? I mean, I don't know, but I don't care who wins.
I feel you on that.
I want to see an entertaining series. Let's put it that way. I don't care who's in it. Entertaining series, go 7 games.
The Rockets will give that to you.
Okay. Who are they going to play?
Warriors obviously in the conference finals.
Yeah.
I say that will be over in 6. And then they will face, this is a tough one, but LeBron has done what, 6 straight, 7 straight?
I think it's 8 now.
8
it's
straight?
7 or 8, so it'll be 8 or 9 when it's.
So might as well just say Cleveland, Rockets win it in 7.
Harden and James, that would be an incredible
Epic.
one-on-one matchup to watch.
Can't wait.
All right, Zach, let's talk a little bit about the team now. The end of the year is finally here. The first season of men's volleyball at Menlo College concluded just one day ago. What can you say most impressed you about year number 1?
How just ready they always were to play every single match. Like they were just, yes, our record doesn't reflect how we did or played or competed, but they competed every single match and never really got blown out, never really like laid down and took it. They just were warriors throughout the entire season and ended our last 3 matches on good notes. We played teams away at their senior nights and we took sets off of them and made them shake and tremble a little bit.
Yeah.
So proud of the guys of this season and excited for what's to come.
Now, the month of January had a lot of success for the Oaks early on. I mean, you guys had several of your wins in that first month and a win against top 10 ranked Robert Morris University at that early bird tournament in Chicago. What can you attribute to the early season success for the Oaks? Because I'd mentioned it many times before on the air, you guys play really well in the first set of games, and your best month of the year was month number 1.
A lot of that has to do with just being young and not knowing what's out there yet. So when we went to Chicago, it was more of like we don't know these teams, they don't know us, we're just going to play as hard as we can. So that win against Robert Morris was really, really an eye-opener for them because Robert Morris now is, I think, number 7 or 8 in the country with around 25 wins, and one of their 5 losses is to us. So it kind of showed that we can compete at a high level, but we just have to stay consistent. And we come out first set or first month, like going hard, competing, and then if we have one slip up or we have one mistake, what I call it is just like the little things like that service error at 0.5 or that, hit out of bounds on an open net at 0.10, like it comes back to bite us in the end. So once that happens, it just kind of like demotivates us in some way. So we got to try to like keep everybody hyped up or try to get the energy up, but it does have an effect. And that just has to do with a freshman thing. But the wins, like the win against Robert Morris, that was just a fight and we just outplayed them and out-hustled them. And if we play like that every single match, these guys will be absolutely exhausted for the whole season.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of chance, honestly, just how hard were we going to compete and how hard were we going to play.
Now, you had a lot of inexperience on the floor, but you had a veteran head coach in Atlee Frechette mixed in with you, a young assistant, and Danny Falls as well. How do you feel like the 3 of you worked together as coaches?
I think it worked really, especially in the first season, it worked really well because Atlee was an outside in college. Denny was a middle in college. I was a right side setter in college. So
Perfect.
Every position is almost covered. So we always had an answer, rather to some coaches like a libero trying to coach, the game and outside or middle asking the question. Like we always had an answer and we always just had to translate that to them a certain way. And they usually understood it and they would go out and do it. And they would see it at work, and it would just be like a light bulb moment for them. So us working together and just kind of translating that to the guys this early, as 18-year-olds, as freshmen, was really, really impactful, and it will pay off in the end, like by the time they're juniors, seniors, because it'll finally click for them.
It seemed like right away the Oaks found a future star in Akash Dother, who right away put up ridiculous kills numbers for the entire season. Does having someone like that on your team make your life easier as a coach?
It does, and it will once again, like I said, it'll pay off later, especially when he's older. Like right now, he's just going up and ripping the ball because he's just physical, very, very physical player, and we know we can just throw it up to Akash and he'll probably get a kill. So once we start working with him a little bit more on developing other areas of his game, by honestly next year, if he sticks to the game plan and trains and works and is receptive, he will be more than insane, if that's possible, in his next 3 years here at Menlo. So
now I know you're excited for what's ahead in year 2, but what can you tell us about year number 2 of this program? What's on the horizon?
We just have a lot. We have talent coming in, and then we are going to try to bring in older guys just to kind of, balance out the youth. And it's just, we have all these young guys that just are ready to play, and they're still young, they're still receptive, still open to competing. So it's just going to be a fun time. And then once we bring in more classes, and they're the upperclassmen, they're the older guys, they'll just translate that culture or that rhetoric or whatever we say and do over to younger guys, and they'll just start a win, like a bond that will be unstoppable.
That senior day class in a couple of years could be absolutely stacked. If you guys are able to hold on to a majority of the ones that you have here right now, that's going to exhaust me having to read out all those names in the senior day bios. That might be the longest senior day we've ever had for any sport. That's going to be incredible. You might want to stay tuned for that here in a couple of years. All right, Zach, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I want to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answers. Question number 1, which athlete is definitely a bandwagon sports fan?
Are you an athlete?
I am not an athlete. Okay. But how can you say I'm a bandwagon sports fan? My teams suck.
But we're not going to get into that. It's the cowgirl is just already sad enough. But back to my guys. Honestly, like I don't know who, but I would say Pedro, because usually most of the internationals I meet, they always come in like their favorite team is always like the top team in America. So like the Bulls, or just the Bulls because of Michael Jordan, or like Cleveland because of LeBron, or the Bay Area. But Pedro's not really into that American sports thing. So I would go with maybe Trey.
Trey, huh?
Trey.
Nothing up there in Clovis?
Just because he's a big sports guy. So I feel like he knows a lot about sports, and he will just kind of maybe hop on to the best team.
So he's an Eagles fan now?
He should be. I will convert all of them, even you, to Eagles fans.
Good luck with that. I bleed blue and silver for the worse. Question number 2, which athlete loves Texas barbecue the most? I can be up for this answer, because I might, but
you say you're not an athlete, so
okay, but now I might be, because I know I am an athlete when it comes to eating barbecue.
You know what a NARP is? We're both NARPs.
Or an ARP?
NARP.
NARP. I don't know what that is.
It's a non-athletic regular person. So we're not athletes anymore. We probably were in the past, but now we're just NARPs. So we're just chilling.
Okay.
But back to the question.
Oh my God. That's going to be stuck in my head now.
Back to the question. Ryan. Or James.
Really?
Yeah. He loves Texas. He almost went to college in Texas.
Okay.
And so he always talks about Texas barbecue with me and how it's the best. And I'm not going to argue with that, because it is.
It is the best. I've been there many times, not many times, but I've been there enough, and I've had enough Texas barbecue to confirm that statement. Have you ever been to the Big Tex in Amarillo?
No, I've never been to the Panhandle yet. I've been to every part of Texas except the Panhandle.
The Big Texan is really good. I know you've heard about it. Have you?
The Big Tex.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about it?
If you describe it, maybe.
Home of the 72-ounce steak challenge.
Yes.
If
you finish it, you eat it for free. You get it for free.
Yeah. I'm not stupid enough to try it, but,
I would actually try it.
You would?
I would try it.
You think you could do it in an hour?
See, you didn't give me the time limit.
Okay, it's an hour. It's an hour with all the fixings on the side. You got to down all that.
See, I won't be able to do it, but I'll definitely try.
What do you think your time would be?
An hour.
You think you could do it?
No, I'm just saying my time would be up.
But how long do you think it would take for you to eat all of that?
I have to do it in like courses, so maybe like 3 or 4 hours.
Jeez.
You don't think you could do it in 3 or 4 hours?
I'm just saying that's a long time to be sitting at a restaurant.
I can do that.
Okay. I mean, I guess if you pull up, watch a game on the television, I don't know.
Watch the Eagles game, maybe Eagles. Cowboys.
No, you're not going to see the Eagles there, only unless they're playing the Cowboys or the Texans, maybe. Stop saying that. Question number 3: which athlete would most likely be able to find the needle in the haystack?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say Cole, because he's just. Like, let's say we're all trying to find a needle in a haystack. Some people be arguing, some people be bumping into each other, and Cole would just be quiet and silent and just doing his own little thing. And then all of a sudden, he'd probably find it, wouldn't even tell us. Like, he would be holding it up like this on the edge, and all of us just beating each other up looking for it. And then he'll be like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, I didn't find it, guys. Keep searching.
Keep looking.
While he's got it in the back pocket.
He just wouldn't say anything. That would be his strategy. He would win because nobody would be focus because we'd be arguing with the next person.
Fair enough. He's also small enough. He can maneuver through that haystack pretty well.
He can.
I think.
Yeah.
Zach, appreciate it. Thanks for joining me on the show. Folks, the men's volleyball season is officially over. Their final game was last night on Tuesday, this interview being filmed on Wednesday. They lost in 4 sets to UC Santa Cruz, so the 2018 season is officially gone. Year 1 in the books. Year 2 beginning sometime in January 2019. Well, Zach is the final interviewee here on Unrooted Men's Volleyball Edition this season, so a big thank you to all the athletes and coaches who have been on the show this season. We invite you to continue staying on the Menlo Athletics social pages, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, so you can find out about the rest of the interviews that we'll be conducting the rest of the year. Baseball and softball finishing up here, as well as track and field and golf. Well, tune into the rest of the episodes this week. Tune in next week. And until then, we'll see you then. Take care.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it. You. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.